are dying, and 27 lakh patients are there every time in India of cancer. And if you see this, the 25% cancer deaths are in Maharashtra and UP alone, and 50,000 patients are dying in Maharashtra alone from cancer. So you can understand how many patients may be requiring pain relief, how many patients must be dying in pain, because there are no enough pain physicians, no pain clinics, only few pain clinics are there, there is no pain diploma, no pain education anytime. So this is a very welcome program that you are telling your doctors and GPs and all that, medical officers about little bit of pain management and palliative care. And this is the situation that 2 days after cancer diagnosis, 23 years old hangs himself using his mother's sari. So you can understand, patients are not able to manage their stress. They are under great suffering and distress. So what is pain? Pain is unpleasant physical and emotional experience due to tissue damage. So wherever there is a tissue damage, the pain is going to occur. But it has got a lot of subtle components. First component is physiological component, that there is an increased CNS activity where there is a tissue damage, and that leads to nociception leading to the brain. And then there is some sensory component to it, and that tells you that what is pain, where the pain is located, what is the intensity and quality. And then affective component, that how patient anxious is, how is the mood, and cognitive component that affect the patient thought process and how the patient view themselves, whether they are totally distressed or whether they are feeling hopeless, helpless. So that makes the cancer patient different from the other. Pain may be 9 upon 10 in labor room also. Patient may be having severe pain after surgery also, but this 9 upon 10 pain is very different from that pain. Because here, this is telling the patient that now I am going to die. This is a constant reminder of death. This patient is different that way. So only intensity doesn't make sense. The intensity combined with this angle that patient is dying, and patient has got severe anxiety and all these conundrum with that, and patient has got behavioral problem. So that decides whether the patient will take an analgesic or not. Whether, so Dr. Sunil said, you are writing prescription, whether the patient is taking prescription or not taking prescription, that is also to be understood properly. And this is the model which will tell you that if the patient is having CNS activity due to tissue damage, that leads to nociception, and that leads to pain, and that leads to suffering and pain behavior. So when you are assessing the patient in the OPD, generally doctors stop here, that there is a nociception, there is a destruction seen in the CT scan, then patient is telling I am having pain, but who is suffering and how much suffering, because two patients are not same. Maybe one may be suffering too much and one may not be suffering, he is under control. So this you have to assess, and then that decides the pain behavior. So when the patient is sitting in the pain clinic, you are seeing only pain behavior and maybe you are seeing the suffering little bit, but you have to go into this. For that, you have to shift from disease-centric approach to the patient-centric approach. The whole palliative care is patient-centric approach. That how the patient is managing himself. And the pain is something that happens to a body or to a part, but suffering is something that happens to a person. So when you are talking of palliative care or pain control, you have to address this person and not alone the other approaches. So for that, you have to take into account physical, emotional, psychological, spiritual, financial, everything into consideration. That how the patient is feeling, how from where I am writing the prescription, or from where the medicine will be available, who will give the medicine, like he told the Saturday, Sunday, who will give the medicine, like befriending with the chemist, befriending with the GPs, all these things, who is the caregiver, you have to talk to the caregiver. And these patients are a lot. About 27 lakh patients are there in India at any given time, and they have to be addressed. And they need loving, tender care, tender loving care. So like everybody loves newborn child and they are loving them, but nobody is loving those who are leaving the world. They also deserve the same treatment. So how prevalent is the cancer pain? If you see these various organs, everywhere you can see 90 figures, 90%, 90%, 90%. So all these patients, these are all, you can see approximately 50% patients suffer pain at the time of diagnosis, 75% at the advanced stage, and recent meta-analysis shows that even cancer survivors also suffer pain. So 33% cancer survivors also, if you see and ask them after 1 year, 2 years of cancer cure, that are you having any pain after after thoracotomy or mastectomy? So they will tell that still I am having pain in the thoracotomy region. I am having pain in the mastectomy region. I have pain at amputation site. So they are 33% patients are suffering that way also. And what are the types of cancer pain? So in just summarily, that it could be due to tumor or it could be due to treatment also. It is not only tumor causing pain, but sometimes chemotherapy paclitaxel is given and patient is having severe burning pain, tingling, and not able to write anything. They cannot sign. Lady cannot tie the buttons. So that is a paclitaxel chemotherapy, neuropathic pain. And radiotherapy also can sometimes pain. Starting the radiotherapy and patient is going into severe pain. Then unrelated to cancer also, and it could be further subdivided according to the pathophysiology, whether it is somatic pain arising from the covering of the body or it is a neuropathic pain that is arising from the nerves, or it may be that patient is having acute pain and maybe superimposed on chronic pain. And there may be some different type of pains which are called breakthrough pains. There is a controlled background pain. Overall 70%, 80% pain is controlled, but in between spikes of pains are coming. When the patient goes for defecation, when patient comes out of the bed, patient coughs and patient goes into severe pain. That is known as breakthrough pain. So there is a controlled pain on the morphine, but in between peaks of pains are occurring. For that you have to have a different medication like lollipops, lozenges, sublingual, intranasal. So they are faster acting drugs and shorter acting drugs. So you can have morphine for control of pain at the continuously at 24 hours basis, but in between pain also have to be controlled by different medication. So acute pain protects life, that is a defensive mechanism. A patient in the postoperative ward may have hypertension, tachycardia, sweating, he will be yelling for pain relief. All those things are occurring. That is acute pain. And chronic pain, when the patient is in chronic pain, he is depressed. He will not have long stories to tell you. He comes to the pain clinic, but he is silent. The relatives are telling the stories and asking, tell the doctor what is happening to you, but he is not telling. The patient is telling, I have not slept for last 2 months. But you are not able to believe him that whether it is correct. He is looking to me all right. So that you have to believe and understand that. And chronic pain destroys life. That patient quality of life is destroyed. They are incarcerated in the room and nobody is listening to them. So the patient perspective is that it is pain that is killing me. It is not cancer, because patient is suffering from that. And so how to assess that patient? Assessment is, history is most important part, physical examination is lesser important, and investigations are least important part of the whole story. So that I want to inform you that there is no room for asking for MRIs and bone scans to understand how the pain is severe, and that will come later on, that functional MRI is done to understand whether the patient is organic pain or in malignant or something like that. So recommended clinical approach is that you have to assess pain regularly and systematically. You can ask the patient to have a pain diary, like a thermometer. As you are asking for a pyrexia of unknown origin, you are writing the temperature. So they can be asked to write on 0.10 scale morning and evening, and they can tell you later on. Believe the patient, discuss the patient pain pathology also. Give the explanation of pain, that what is causing your pain. Whether it is bone metastasis that is causing pain, whether it is tumor causing pain, we can give you radiotherapy, we can do vertebroplasty, the surgery can also be done, laminectomy can be done. So all the options should be told to the patient. And nerve blocks can be done. So you have to open up and tell them what is causing them, how the lifestyle change can reduce your pain. So all those things should be understood. And empower the patient to choose the course between them, whether surgery is all right, whether they can afford the surgery, whether it is applicable, how much the quality of life after that. All those things should be discussed. They should be part of the discussion. And deliver the intervention timely, and continuity of care and follow-up is very important. In Tata Hospital, we are sitting in tertiary care center, and 60% of patients are going same day by the train or by next day catching the flight. So they are mostly from North India or East India or Kolkata or Assam. So many of them will not follow up.